A man is stunned to discover a QR code tattooed on his wife's back. His wife, who works as a flight attendant. Driven by curiosity, he can't resist scanning it with his phone. What he finds plunges him into despair. A video with a cover image showing his own wife. The video is protected by password, so he cannot view its contents. Realizing his wife is hiding a shocking secret, he doesn't confront her directly. Instead, he immediately books a ticket for the flight she's working on. To avoid being recognized, he wears a mask, intentionally messes up his hair, and hides his name when presenting his boarding pass. Fortunately, his wife notices nothing unusual and even greets him warmly on board, escorting him to a seat. Impressed by the first-class service, where the number of flight attendants exceeds the number of passengers, he is intrigued to see that every passenger has an iced Americano in front of them. When his wife asks what he would like to drink, he pauses solemnly and deliberately orders the same. Immediately, he notices a glimmer of excitement in her eyes as she promises impeccable service. Troubled, he has no time to dwell further as one of his wife's colleagues stumbles onto him due to turbulence. He instinctively helps her, and she immediately offers him a special service. At that moment, his wife approaches, visibly irritated, holding the iced coffee. Fearing he's been discovered, he braces himself, but she simply scolds her colleague for being unprofessional and asks her to make it up to the passenger with better service. It's then he realizes his wife is now the cabin chief. When she heads toward the front of the cabin, the man removes his mask and finally sips his coffee. During a calmer moment, he asks the colleague what the iced Americano really means, but before she can answer, his wife makes an announcement over the intercom, instructing the crew to prepare for takeoff. Shortly after takeoff, 2 passengers stand up with their coffee and are escorted to the lavatory by the crew. With the curtain drawn, he pays little attention, until a 3rd passenger is also taken to the lavatory, this time by his own wife. This raises his suspicion, especially since there are only 2 lavatories at the front. With a growing sense of unease, he attempts to get up, but his wife's colleague intercepts him and asks if he would like to use the lavatory. He declines for the moment, but 30 minutes later, the first 2 passengers return, looking elated, and the attendants also seem unusually pleased. Still not seeing his wife return, the man, increasingly anxious, asks to check the lavatory. The colleague assures him no one has used it recently and opens the door for him, but a sudden noise erupts from inside, and a man snaps at him from within. The flight attendant quickly apologizes. Back in his seat, he's still puzzled over his wife's absence, until she reappears, smiling, accompanied by the passenger she had escorted earlier. But her socks are missing. A terrible feeling creeps over him. Only then, as he overhears the passengers around him praising the exceptional service and expressing their desire to experience it again, does the horror dawn on him. He recalls his wife's unexplained absence and the strange behavior of everyone on board. Consumed by rage, he ignores the crew's warnings and forces open the lavatory door.